Now, if you're into Asian film, you probably know that Korea has some of the best thrillers on the market. There's always a couple of awesome Korean thrillers that come out each year. Whether you're a newcomer to Korean thrillers or whether you devour them, much like how a fantasy fan would devour Game of Thrones episodes, we'll make sure that we got your back. Before we get into our list, we have two criteria. Now, our first one is, our list is going to concentrate on either the crime or mystery aspect of a thriller movie. So if a movie had too much action in it, we didn't include it. So with that being said, we couldn't add some great popular films that sometimes blur the line between thriller and another genre. And some of these films include A Hard Day, The Man from Nowhere, and The Beverage. I recommend you definitely watch those movies, but they will not be on our list. Another genre that sometimes gets lumped into the thriller category, but we excluded for this list, are horror movies. And now, let's get on to the list. The first one is Oldboy. And Oldboy is one of the most popular, iconic Korean movies in modern Korean cinema today. Oldboy is part of this thing called the Vengeance Trilogy. So the story goes like this. In 1988, a guy and his daughter are just randomly kidnapped. When the guy wakes up, his daughter is missing and he's trapped in this room. And in fact, he can't even get out of this room. All he has is a bedroom and a bathroom. That's it. And every day he's provided food through the bottom of a steel door, which blocks his way of getting out of his room. So he turns on the TV and quickly realizes that his wife's been murdered, and this guy's the main suspect for murdering his wife, and his daughter is missing. So he has vengeance, like, who killed my wife? I know it's not me, I'm gonna get vengeance. And the guy just starts working out, starts doing martial arts, one day plotting to find and take down the true culprit. Only contact he has from the outside world is TV. As he watches TV day by day, he notices that the years are going by. He sees the IMF financial crisis, he sees the return of Hong Kong, and many other historical events throughout his TV. So the daily routine that this guy goes through is this guy eats, and then a couple hours later, sleeping gas from beneath the steel door seeps in his room, and he gets knocked out. And while this guy is knocked out, the steel door opens, a couple security guards come in and change his clothes, change his blankets, and make sure that this trapped guy is properly taken care of. But one day, as he goes through the routine of getting sleep gassed again, when he wakes up, he doesn't find himself in the same trapped room. In fact, he finds out he's been trapped in that room for 15 years, from 1988 to 2003. And from there, he has to find out who killed his wife, why did they kill his wife, and why was he stuck in a room for the last 15 years. So our second film is Cold Eyes, which bears striking similarity to the actress who plays this character, Han Hyo-joo. So Han Hyo-joo has this knack for noticing surroundings and being very perceptive. And one day a detective notices this and quickly asks her to be part of the police force. But instead of being a police officer, she's recruited to work in an investigation surveillance team. So what this team does is just trail criminals and get enough evidence to see that this is the true culprit or mastermind of a crime, and then they send the police after them. So this team is unarmed, works in a surveillance van, and is required to keep a safe distance from the culprit at all times. One of the first cases this investigation team is assigned to is a high-profile bank heist. And as they soon find out, 7 master thieves are involved in this bank heist, but one of them hasn't been caught yet, and is known as one of the most deadly criminals that the police is trying to catch. So it's up to the surveillance team to not only find out who this master criminal is, but also getting enough surveillance and evidence while also keeping a safe distance so that the police can arrest them. Our third one is Memories of Murder. So this movie is based on a series of true crimes happening from 1986 to 1991. So the movie starts off in 1986 where the police find a dead woman's body in a ditch. Soon after, another dead woman is found in a ditch nearby. So the police soon notice a pattern where there's a lot of dead women dying in a specific area. So Detective Park Do-man is assigned to this case to find out why are these women dying, why are they even targeted, and who's the killer. But to say he's ill-equipped would be an understatement, as the equipment he has is outdated and the forensic he has is pretty much non-existent. In fact, a lot of his methods are actually illegal and just brutal. He sometimes forges key evidence, he brings up random witnesses just to interrogate them, and he beats confessions out of them. But Detective Park doesn't know what else to do. He's getting desperate to find the killer because people are getting afraid of going in this area and it's making bigger news. So while Detective Park and his team continue to do illegal shenanigans, he gets a tip from a female police officer. She noticed that before the murderers strike, there were certain songs on the radio that came on. And with that tip-off, Detective Park and his team knew that they're on the murderer's trail. This film received high praise. It's one of the highest rated Korean movies, and it has the highest acclaim from Quentin Tarantino. This movie made up one of the 2 Korean films that made Quentin Tarantino's list past 1992. The 4th one is New World. Now the film shows a war between the mob and the police through the eyes of an undercover cop. Now when the chairman of the largest crime syndicate, Gold Moon, dies in a car accident, this leaves a void in the top seat. Now as the Gold Moon crime syndicate scrambles to find a new successor, it soon becomes apparent that this guy named Jung Chang will soon become the heir apparent. But the twist is that Jung's right-hand man, Ja Sung, is actually an undercover cop. In fact, Ja Sung's been working undercover in the mob for the last 8 years, and he actually wants out because it's stressful, it's stressing his family, and it's dangerous. He can lose his life at any time if the mob finds out. But his superiors always reject his resignation, saying that if he does, they'll slander him. So his superiors tell Ja Sung to continue to influence the mob succession, and with that, they can bring the mob down. So he soon has a choice to make before his life is forfeit. Does he choose the police side, the mob side, or a third option? Our 5th thriller is The Chronicles of Evil. The movie starts off with Detective Choi, a fast-moving police officer that's about to be promoted to captain. So one night, he's celebrating his pre-promotion party with some of his fellow officers, but he calls it a night early because he wants to get home to his family. So he hails for a taxi, and the taxi picks him up, and he's gonna be driving home. But as the taxi drive continues, Detective Choi suddenly realizes that he's not actually going in the direction of his house. So he tells the taxi driver, "You're going the wrong direction. Where are we going? Take me back home." But the taxi driver doesn't even answer him. So he starts driving to the secluded mountain. And Detective Choi, knowing that he has that police intuition, knows that something's about to go down. So he demands to get off. He's like, "Get me out of this taxi now. You are not taking me home." So the taxi driver soon stops at the top of a mountain, takes out a knife, and is about to murder Detective Choi. After a long struggle, Detective Choi looks like he's about to die as he's losing this fight. But suddenly the taxi driver turned murderer just dies. Detective Choi didn't kill him, but it looks really bad because this guy tried to murder him. They're on the top of a mountain alone. And not only that, there's a silent witness that actually witnessed the murder. So the following day, the dead body of the taxi driver turned murderer is reported. And guess who's on the case? Yep, Detective now turned Captain Choi. So what will Detective Choi do now? Now our 6th movie is Helpless. So the movie takes place in 2009 with a veterinarian named Jung Moon-ho and his fiance. So as they're driving one night, they pull into a rest stop where Moon-ho is going to get some coffee for him and his fiance. But when he gets back from the cafe into his car, his fiance is missing somehow, like she just disappeared. So Moon-ho starts calling the police, starts searching the area, but they can't find anyone. Like, they thought she was murdered, but she's not murdered. So Moon-ho's next intuition is that she's kidnapped. The only clue that Moon-ho finds is her hairpin in the bathroom. How did it even get there? But as he investigates deeper and deeper, he finds out his fiancé has a dark hidden past. Our 7th movie is the iconic film JSA, or Joint Security Area. The movie starts off with a bang, literally. So 2 North Korean soldiers are killed in the DMZ on the northern side. A South Korean soldier is found running from the northern side to the southern side of the DMZ, while the North starts firing on the South Korean soldier. The South Koreans hear bullet shots and start returning fire onto the northern side of the DMZ. As tensions are mounting deeper and deeper and there's no resolution in sight, the North and South have this idea to bring in a neutral party to find out what really happened. Why is there 2 North Korean soldiers dead? So they bring in a neutral party from Switzerland, and the investigation is led by Korean-Swiss Army Major Sophie Jean. By investigating the murder site, as well as investigating the stories between the northern soldiers and the southern soldiers, she quickly notices that the stories and the evidence don't match. But with tensions rising day by day, the pressure is on for Major Sophie to find out the truth, and fast. As with Memories of Murder, this is Quentin Tarantino's 2nd favorite Korean film that's made his top 20 films since 1992. Our 8th movie is Blind. So Blind starts off with this young female police officer named Min Soo-ah. So she was a police officer in training with the fast track of being accepted into the police academy. But a near-life accident happened where her car fell off a ledge, killing her brother and making her blind. So since she became blind, as well as the sudden grief of her brother dying, she quit the police force. However, even with her sight gone, Soo-ah quickly becomes an important witness. Now this murder case involves a sicko. This murderer takes women and just brutalizes them and cuts them in pieces. So one night as Soo-ah hails a taxi, she goes into the back seat and is unknowingly talking to the sicko murderer. But unknowing to her right now, the taxi driver is just a normal person. But she does notice like the feel of his car, the scent of his taxi, the voice of the taxi driver. And when the police find out that she was in direct contact with this taxi driver, the murderer quickly finds out by stalking this woman that she's blind. She quickly realizes that she's in danger. She knows that she's the only true witness to this murderer. The 9th one is The Chaser. And man, is this movie good. So this movie starts off with the former detective, Joonho, and how he works in the prostitution business now. Basically, he's a pimp. In recent weeks, he notices that a lot of his girls have gone missing. And as he's in the business of prostitution, losing girls and having them missing is not a good thing. So he sends one of his remaining few girls, Minjin, to a customer, but she soon's missing herself. So Joonho, not knowing why his girls are missing, goes back to his police roots and asks one of his former police buddies to help him find out why this is so. So Joonho and his police buddies soon find out that this one shady customer is taking all his girls, and that's why they're not coming back. And his suspicions proves correct, as Minjin is soon found up tied and guzzled in a bathroom. And the shady customer is actually a psychopathic killer. Joonho is onto this killer's tracks, but the killer already knows this and plans one step ahead, as he's trying to evade not only Joonho, but the police as well. And our 10th and final movie is I Saw the Devil. So this movie starts off with a woman named Jung Joo-yoon, and one day she gets a flat tire while driving, so she gets out of the car and starts fixing the tire. So a bus driver not too far behind, Jung Kyung-chul, offers to help her fix her tire. But instead of fixing her tire, he just murders her and scatters her body parts everywhere. The police soon find out when a boy discovers one of the woman's ears. As the police finds out, so does Joo-hyun's fiancé, Secret Service agent Kim Soo-hyun. Chief Jung, the father of the murdered Joo-hyun, also finds out about this as well. Chief Jung and Kim Soo-hyun want vengeance on this murderer right away. He soon finds out that Kyung-chul is not just any ordinary murderer, he's really crafty, and that soon starts the cat and mouse game between the two adversaries. So again, in no particular order, here's our list. And now over to you, which thrillers would have made your top 10 list? And if you've seen some of the movie thrillers on this list, we'd love to hear your take in the comments below. And if you guys want more Asian movie suggestions, please download our free ebook, The 108 Asian Movies to Watch. And on that note, I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy, guys.